We have a lot of things to talk about, and this project starts January 1st, which is like coming up very, very quickly. So grab a warm beverage and let's have a chit chat. This will be the very first project that we are doing together as a Ghoul Squad for 2023, and it is a mood snood. I don't know about you, but I'm obsessed with snoods. Like, I mean, I have been forever, but then Wednesday, the Netflix series came out, and I'm sure you, just like me, were just like obsessed with the entire series because there was just so much amazing knit and crochet wearables that I kind of lost track of the plot and just was like glued and paying attention to what new project is coming up. I'm gonna take a picture, I'm gonna write it down, like I want to recreate everything. And so obviously we had to do a snood. This is probably one of my favorite accessories just for the fact that it is an incredible piece to layer up. So you can like wear it just like this, or you know, as like a nice little shrug. You can do the whole snood, and it goes with literally everything. The yarn that I use is incredibly lightweight for the specific reason that I knew I was gonna put it on top of things. Like, this is not just gonna be worn like this all the time. Like, I'll probably have my winter coat on underneath it. So I wanted it to be lightweight and airy. Okay, but obviously I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to get into the details of what the mood snood is all about, everything that you need to know in order to join the entire Ghoul Squad to make a mood snood together. I find this to be one of my favorite projects of the entire year, and the piece is just so special to me because every single day was recorded and it was like all about me. What was I feeling? Why was I feeling that? It's just a moment in the day to really be kind to yourself and just self-reflect. And at the end of it, you have an incredible wearable fiber journal, basically. If that sounds like something that you want to do for the beginning of the year, there are a couple of things that you're gonna need to grab. First off, you need to go to my blog and print off this PDF. We have the mood snood chart. This year we are using coffins. This will be actually the second year that together as a Ghoul Squad we've done this. This is a project that myself, I have done for many, many years, just as a way, instead of doing a resolution for January, this is what I do to, again, put mental health first. So last year was bats, this year we're doing coffins. You're gonna print this out and every single coffin is empty. You're gonna need to grab some markers, crayons, colored pencils, honestly, whatever you want. And each one of these gets a different color. But before you color them in, make sure you go ahead and look through your yarn stash and pick out a bunch of different yarn because that yarn is gonna correlate to the color that the coffin is. This is a fantastic project if you want to do a little stash busting and kind of just like close your eyes, find whatever yarn is there, and like that will be your selection. Or if you want to do what I did and kind of do like monochromatic, I have, this one is obviously just a sample. I only use 2 colors, but the one that I'll be doing has a bunch of grays, blacks, dark grays, like all sorts of white, cream, gray, black. That's pretty much what I chose. Feel free to use whatever type of yarn that you want. Once you have that figured out, then go ahead and color them in from the yarn that you have for that color. The line on the bottom here, you're gonna fill in with an emotion. So kind of just like think back to last month, maybe the previous month, even further if you want to. What emotions were very prominent in your life? Write them down. If this is not enough, because honestly, last year I printed out 2 of these for me. Print out as many as you want. Seriously, if there's one day that happens that you're like, okay, one color is not enough, I need multiple, use multiple. Another thing that some ghouls did last year that I thought was fantastic, and I actually am gonna do it this year, they got the yarn that they used and then cut a tiny piece of it and like taped it or glued it in place of the coffin. That way you know the exact yarn. Maybe like me, you're using very similar colors or like you're using different weights or something like that. So just another option to throw out if you don't feel like coloring, like that's not your thing, just use the actual yarn on the coffin page. How I like to go about it is I choose an area in my yarn dungeon to like set up my station. So like mood snood designated area. The area doesn't have to be big. big, but just set it up so that it's very inviting to you. So I love wax melts. We have a little pumpkin going back there. I have a specific wax melt scent that I'll be using every night that I work on the Mood Snood. I have like a little pillow, a little blanket. My iPad will be there. I'll probably listen to a little lo-fi just to like set it up exactly the way that I want it. So it's a very comforting, inviting area. And at the end of the day, I'll go chill in that area, start up my wax melt, and do one row on the snood. So there are 31 rows of this snood, and this whole entire thing is half double crochet. This is not a project that I wanted to make super intricate or complicated. I personally love half double crochet, and I use it for like many projects. Really, there isn't a project that I've used a half double crochet that I'm like, I wish I would have used a different stitch. No, it's fantastic. It's super versatile. And again, very beginner friendly. So if you're wanting to join, but maybe you haven't like done a lot of wearables, this would be a fantastic project to jump in on. Since it is very repetitive, it also allows you to focus on you, focus on your mood, like how did your day go, reflecting on everything. And also, since it's at the end of the day, set up for you to have a fantastic day in the morning. There is a PDF. You can go ahead and print that out, stack it on top with this. I like to leave it on my iPad. That way I can just like zoom in, zoom out wherever I need. But if you like to print it out, you can do that as well. So since this was a very Wednesday inspired palette that I used, my hook obviously had to correlate that. So we're going to be using a 7mm crochet hook. This is from Frills Crochet, and I think the name is Cookies and Cream. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, but it's now officially being renamed to my Wednesday hook. It's perfect. And it's a streamline resin, which is one of my all-time favorite hooks to use, especially with chunky type of yarn like this, which I ended up using Divina by Hobbii Yarn. It is 65% baby alpaca and 10% merino wool, which means it's really light, super delicate. Even though we're using a 7mm crochet hook, things are just very light. And I did that for a reason. I wanted it to be a layerable type of wearable, but I didn't want it to add weight. But again, feel free to use whatever yarn that you want. I would suggest sticking with the 7mm crochet hook if you like the style and shape of this exact snood. The drape will definitely change if you change the size of the crochet hook, but the yarn, feel free to play around with that. Since this is a crochet along, there are going to be a lot of other ghouls that are making this exact same project. I have linked down below a couple of the areas that you can go ahead and join the Ghoul Squad to share some pictures, chit chat about the project, starting January 1st all the way to the 31st. We have the Facebook Ghoul Squad page, which is fantastic if you want to like share pictures and see other people's color combos. That's a fantastic area. It's like all in one right there. Also, I have hashtag for my Instagram page, so you can use that and also share as many pictures as you want. For this crochet along, I think it's really incredible that we have such an amazing Ghoul Squad community, because this is again, all about mental health. And it's really amazing to have a community to be able to talk about this, chit chat, you know, day to day. Like this is 31 days. This is a lot. So being able to join the Ghoul Squad elsewhere and know like there's a whole community right there making the exact same thing as you, going through every single day along with you, is just, it's amazing. But also, if you want to go ahead and run with this project and this is your own fiber journal and you kind of want to have that journey on your own, absolutely feel free. I'm just letting you know that there are options, so feel free to go whatever direction you want. Now, if there is a day in January that you wake up or at the end of the day, you're like, I don't feel like crocheting. This has happened. I'm just not in the mood. I have no desire. Absolutely don't. Like, don't crochet that day. Just use this paper, flip it on the back, write the date, and just kind of say why. Like, didn't feel like crocheting, or like, don't want to. Like, as simple as that. Like, 1 or 2 words, just write it on there. Then if tomorrow or the following day you feel like crocheting again, you can pick it up from that day. Maybe you need to go and grab like a different color because, you know, you just don't feel like any of the colors correlated to it. You need to grab a completely different color. Go ahead and go back. So even though it starts January 1st and there is actually an end date, which is January 31st, don't let that be something that adds more pressure. Like, that's not what this project is about. If you end up finishing it 2 weeks, 2 months, a year afterwards, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It is just simply here for you to spend the time to check in with yourself every single day. And if checking in with yourself is, I don't feel like crocheting, that's the day. Like, that's it, and you're doing this correctly. I just wanted to reiterate, you don't need to put any sort of unnecessary stress. I know that sometimes lists and countdowns can be a little bit stressful, especially when you're not in the mood to do it. So just don't do it. That's it. Cheers to that. Just don't do it. For me, I enjoy it because I know every single night in January, no matter what's going on, I have a little bit of time set aside every single night just for myself to sit down and do one row of crocheting. Honestly, it'll lead into me crocheting a lot more. Like, I'll have other projects that I work on because I'm like, well, I'm already crocheting now, so I'm just gonna keep on going with it. Even if I'm super busy, I know that I have that tiny specific moment in time that I just get to be with myself. It's also something that you could continue doing throughout the year if you wanted to. Just print more of these out and write the month on it and make more snoods. Like 12 snoods for the entire year, and it's all your fibery journal. Honestly, I might think about that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The January one, this is the yarn that I'm officially gonna use, 7mm crochet hook, and the printout chart, and that's all you need. So that is it. That is everything you need to know about the Mood Snood for 2023. I seriously hope you decide to join along with me and the rest of the Goal Squad to make one of these. Otherwise, for now, have a fantastically spooky rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.